So, Ben, we're talking about what's going to happen on Saturday. My theory is this. Rutgers will not lose because I'm going to buy the whole team tickets to Six Flags Great Adventure, and we're going to ride the roller coasters. And Oregon's going to have nobody to play. Otherwise, I think they're going to lose 45-13. What do you think?
I haven't even really thought of a score yet in that regard. But the one thing I had to say, I was listening to kind of catch up to see where you guys were at. I think the worst thing in the world, actually more for Rutgers right now, is the fact Oregon just lost.
Yeah.
That means that Lanning is going to have everyone absolutely pissed off, and I have a really bad feeling for national narrative.
Do you think
he is going to run up the score?
Especially just seeing, like, I'm sorry that I keep on bringing it back to Penn State, but the thing is, what Penn State just did, every single team that's coming off of a loss, especially being undefeated or potentially being ranked and coming off a loss, they're looking at the Penn State situation and say, let's not make that be us. So especially with Dan Lanning, seeing that type of loss going into a game across the country, the same situation that Penn State kind of was against a team that's currently in a struggle. They don't want to let a potential trap game happen. Dan Lanning wants to be able to nip that game in the bud. So 100% agree with you how Oregon's going to be angry on Saturday.
Donovan, when you first said that, I was thinking that's a crazy thing to say. But then I remembered that would have been a crazy thing to say 4 weeks ago about Penn State. So I don't think that anything like that will necessarily happen to Oregon, because I think Oregon has had longer sustainability. They've developed players better, both for the NFL and for team success. And I've seen that since Mariota. But I will say it's not a 0% chance after what James Franklin went through. Anything is possible in college football.
Yeah, I mean, anything is possible. I mean, they could score 100. I mean, when you say that, it makes me wonder because, I mean, Gabe has always been a bit more optimistic, and I wish I was as optimistic, but we're talking about elite NFL potential talent here. And Dan Lanning, every drive for Oregon is going to probably be 4-down territory, where if it's 4th and 6 from their own 40, they're going to go for it because they're not going to respect our defense.
Saying no punts all game?
I'm saying Lanning is going to tell his team what happened against Indiana will never, ever, ever, ever happen again. And when you combine that with Rutgers' inconsistency, its failure to do the little things, you have a recipe for an angry Oregon team and a vulnerable Rutgers team that's going to end in a 30-plus point loss. And like I said, if they learn something from it, it's positive. But that's the way it's going to pan out, I think.
Well, hey, Spaz, then someone in the building needs to let Lanning know. Just leave James Ferguson in Eugene. We don't need a punter to even travel with us this week.
I like
no. See, we need that because I just had to vote for Ray Guy punter of the week for James. Him and his dad both sent me links for the Ray Guy Award vote for the week, and so I posted it on both of our channels. So,
you know what's funny? I think the best thing that can happen to a national championship contender in college football is to lose, because
you got to lose early in the year. Well, yeah, exactly.
Not when the playoff format was 4 teams. Then a loss basically kicks you out. But now I would say yes.
But now the way that the playoffs is formatted, it gives you leeway for losses, and it kind of gets you into a situation of saying which losses are better than other losses.
I mean, is it possible? Not necessarily.
The losses give you an opportunity to learn. It creates humility in your team, keeps that hunger alive, avoids complacency.
Yeah. Is it possible for a team, not necessarily Rutgers, but just this had me thinking because of the playoff format, is it possible for a team to lose 3 of their first 5 or 3 of their first 4, then go undefeated and beat a crazy amount of good teams and make the playoffs?
Yes.
It depends on how many ranked teams they play against on that winning streak.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, are we looking at a scenario where Penn State could somehow turn it around?
No.
No. If they were able to beat you, if their 2 of the 3 losses weren't UCLA and Northwestern, maybe.
That's true.
Let's say we were in a situation for Penn State where they were able to Like, let's say they lose to Oregon, but they're able to beat UCLA, Penn State, or they're able to beat UCLA, Northwestern. Then they got to play Indiana. Let's say they're able to. Let's say they split it. Either they beat Indiana and then lose to Ohio State, or they lose to Indiana and they beat Ohio State. There would still be a potential case for them, but the way that they lost is impossible.
Hey,
Yeah.
I said it
Yeah.
last night, and I'll say it again. The team that no one's talking about that could shock the world is UCLA.
Stop that. Stop.
They have their losses are worse than Penn State's.
Yeah.
They turned Michigan into children. They turned Michigan State into children. They
Well,
have a
Michigan
new coach,
State is at our
a new
level.
attitude, and a new mindset.
Michigan State's middle of the pack, though.
That's my point, though. UCLA went from being nothing to now starting to beat the hell out of
Yeah,
it.
UCLA lost to New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penn
Yeah,
State's
I know
losses
the- I know
are
the
not as bad as you realize.
Lobos.
I know the AD at Mexico. Very nice guy.
By the way, New Mexico's a beautiful state. I mean, how can we be insulting?
Speaking of New Mexico, I'm watching the season finale of Breaking Bad tonight.
Oh, don't go there, because we had that analogy last night between well, that's another story. But UCLA, watch out for UCLA. If they win out, UCLA is in the playoffs.
If UCLA was to win out, they would at least be. I mean, right now. They are the team you don't want to play because, like you said, with this, and we talked about it. Spaz and I did on our postgame show. This was the loss maybe we needed that we didn't have last year.
Yeah.
To wake up and refocus the team. And this by no means is a bad loss. This just means Indiana's really, really good. And we knew they were good beforehand. But a 10-point loss to a really, really good team can be the fire that team needs to wake up and now continue on halfway in the middle of the season. So I think it was like a perfect time to maybe take a loss and then take it to a good team.
Yeah, and that's what Adam was saying too, right before you joined, was that if you guys played Indiana again, which you certainly could play Indiana again, come later on in the season, who knows who would win that game, because it's honestly two very even-keeled teams, and Indiana is playing like they're honestly easily a top 3 team in college football playing like it right now. And if you played them again, I think Indiana would still be favored. Or not still be, but they would be favored now, but it could be like 55-45.
I think if they play again, Oregon's going to win the game. And I'll tell you why I think that. I think that Dan Lanning's game plan was not the best fit for that game. And I think he realizes that now. They're going to adjust. And I think they'll beat Indiana if they play them again.
I think there would be experience adjustment too. Now you know what to expect, because I don't think anyone really realized how good both their lines of scrimmage were.
Yeah. Wow.
Indiana's got their simulated pressure they were doing that whole game was throwing everyone on that line off. So if you play Indiana, watch out for them, because they're really, really good. But to Rutgers, did everyone do a score prediction or something like that?
Yeah,
I got to ask that really quickly.
No, we did. I said, okay, I gave 2, which is kind of unfair. But my realistic one is 48-21 Oregon. My everything goes well one is still losing, but 38-30 Oregon. Because honestly, that's the way that Rutgers plays, is when they play their best, they still are not great defensively, but they put points on the board.
Okay. I'll have to. I'll think about this later on. Maybe I'll wait till Wednesday to do my score drop. I think Oregon wins, but again, Lanny will have them fired.
We didn't get to talk about this with you then earlier on, but the spread for this game is only 15.5, which to me, well, it's 17.5 actually now. It was 15.5 in the morning. Do you think that's disrespectful to Oregon?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so too. I mean, we were like 10.5 underdogs to Washington, and we lost by 19 to them.
Right.
I think they're thinking that Rutgers may be able to score some points on Oregon and lose, kind of like you said, like maybe 45-30 or something. But I think it's off.
Yeah, I which one of you guys said that that Oregon was going to rout this game.
I did.
I was going to say, I think we both kind of said that.
Well, I think and run up the score. I think Oregon scores 60 points.
It's not
50 to
definitely not
60.
impossible.
That is a very plausible score.
They could too. I mean, and that's why, like you guys were saying, the one thing that Rutgers has had an issue with too is you're concerned about your secondary.
Yeah.
And this is like the perfect game for Oregon to be like, oh, our receivers didn't get involved last game. Well, boys.
Boys.
Yeah, Ben, to add on
Corian Moore, that's going to be the last time we see the Corian Moore get less than 50 receiving yards a game this season. That's genuine. That's what it felt like.
And that was a thing too. I totally did not. We pulled away from the run game. We stopped giving Hill the ball. He was getting 5-6 yards of carry every time he touched it in the first half, and then Will Stein just completely went away. I think he's trying to steal Jerry Neuheisel's job at UCLA, and he should be shot for that. Will Stein, get back to calling the game like you did this last year. Let's not go back to the Bo Nix check down era. This is not that. This is Oregon 2.0. Put your foot on the gas, put your foot on their throat, and run them through the grinder, because that's what you have to do. You have to come back and make a statement this week. And if you don't, then everybody's going to call you a fraud.
And to add on to this real quick, because we were saying, definitely Oregon could score 60. You guys will never believe what the total over-under for this game is.
It's 60. Yeah.
Which is outrageous to me. Again, Rutgers.
I saw that this morning, and I was like, wow.
Did they not see Oregon put up 60 on Oklahoma State?
Yeah, and honestly, our defense is not much better than Oklahoma State's.
I would put the over-under. The over-under should be something like, I don't know, 4,187.
Yeah, I was going to say it should be like 71, honestly. Like
I was going to say 73.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
That's a good call.
And Ben, you mentioned that the weaknesses for Rutgers, it's the secondary. It's also the pass rush. And ironically, Oregon's basic identity, how they function on offense, is their depth at wide receiver and the time that their backs have to find a hole and the time that Dante Moore has to throw the ball. And you're going to have a lot more time this week than last week. You're going to have anywhere between 3 and 5 seconds to get rid of that thing before there's even a player breaking free. And it's kind of ugly. That's why everyone's saying Oregon can score 60 points, is because the fact that your identity is basically what we're bad at.
Yeah. Well, and again, too, last week it was just so uncharacteristic, like what Spaz was saying, with the one offensive touchdown. So we get rid of the pick six that happened. The one offensive touchdown was high tempo, came right at Indiana, did a little fake play action, drop back, kind of moved to the side, deep shot for the touchdown. After that, they didn't do any of that. They didn't move Dante out of the pocket unless he was running for his life. So this week is one of those, hey, remember we have a whole playbook? Let's experiment again. And, so I feel the running game is got to come back, because last week, like Spaz said, I mean, after a while, you kind of got away from it because you got demoralized. You kept getting stuffed at the line, or only getting like 2 yards of carry.
Yeah, we couldn't get no hold on the edge to get it. Every time Dante ran outside the pocket running for his life, and he was trying to run, bam, there was a linebacker right there just to tackle him. That's what I was really impressed with. Was
other thing about that,
they were very disciplined, and they kept the spy. They kept the spy for a good amount of that game. We only have a 4-2-5, so we don't even have anyone that's going to be able to spy, because we only have one middle linebacker and one outside linebacker.
If I were
the way that Oregon's offensive line is, and the way they're able to run the ball, especially after a game where they weren't able to, and they see this as a possible tune-up game, there's no way Rutgers doesn't play a potential 7-man box at minimum, because a 6-man, potentially 5-man, if they're able to move one of the linebackers out with motion, is not going to do Rutgers any sort of justice throughout that game.
Yeah, especially when Dante Moore is better than Damon Williams, and we gave Damon Williams his perfect game of college football.
Well, that was just primarily because Rutgers' biggest issue so far has been being able to be disciplined in the rush lanes and not breaking contain. Demi Williams, for most parts of that game, primarily for them to get their offense started on the first drive of the game, was started off of a Damon Williams scramble. And the final touchdown of the game was off of a Damon Williams scramble. Every single situation outside of the one in the red zone where they're able to get that amazing turnover on Damon Williams has been based off of Damon Williams being able to break contain. Dante Moore, when he's able to break contain, we saw it against Penn State. He's able to do damage. So it's really going to come down to just being, if Eric O'Neal and all the other edge rushers are able to just be able to contain, and be able to control the edge. And with Oregon's offensive line, that's going to be tough.
I think what's his name? Oklahoma State's former coach, is that Mike Gundy?
Gundy.
Yeah, Gundy. You guys had Gundy pissed about NIL before the game even started.
Gundy needs to lose that little temper he has. But anyway, if I was an Oregon fan, I would be so excited right now because you lost the game at the perfect time, and it gave you so much to learn from. Even when Ohio State lost to Michigan last year in November, I said, that's a good loss for them because that's going to get them to reset and get back to basics and have that hunger. This is Oregon forward, I'm telling you.
You know that Ohio State wanted to break that streak, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
they got the last laugh still, technically, but.
Yeah.